If you have a small gardening space but want beautiful pops of color, flowering vines are an excellent choice to fix this issue. We're going to take a look at some beautiful ones today. We'll also take a look at some that could be a little bit invasive, so you may want to avoid them or choose carefully. And we'll also take a look at trellises because your vines are going to need this for support. Welcome to our Home and Garden channel. My name is Marlene. Now let's take a look at these beautiful plants. So the first one we're going to take a look at is Clematis, and boy do I love this one. We've had this one at our mailbox for about 15 years or so. It grows in growing zones 4 to 9. It is a perennial, so it does come back in those areas. One thing I'll tell you about this plant is it does not like to have its roots exposed to the heat of the day. So we plant coneflowers there to kind of, give it a little bit of sheltering. And also we allow some of it to grow below, so it basically covers itself. And boy, they give us beautiful blooms every spring. Typically you'd want to buy them like in late winter, when they're just coming out of dormancy from the garden center. And then you just plant them out and, they'll be beautiful for many, many years for you. What I will say is that there are different types of them. There are 3 different types. And it's very important to know the type that you have because that's going to determine when you prune them, when they're going to bloom, and when you feed them. Because if these are not done at the right time, then that could be an issue for you. But typically when you purchase them, they give you all that information on the labels that are there. They'll explain to you these, what type you have. And you can do additional research as well too, so you can know what type you have and how to give it the best care. You can see how gorgeous they are. There's so many different types, beautiful, and the blossoms are typically, I should say the blooms are normally as large as your hand. Now mine, I have to cut mine back in the late winter, early spring. Sometimes I'll cut it back in the fall too and just tidy it up a little bit because mine blooms in spring through summer. Sometimes I'll get blooms again in the fall season. So I just cut them back in the early winter, and it does grow on new wood, by the way. It blooms on new wood, so that way I won't damage buds that are coming up. And in this video that I did previously, I explained a lot about Clematis, different types and how to care for them. I'll link it in the description box. You can take a look at it for more details. And just to show you, they have the white ones as well too. Moving on to category number 2, or type number 2 would be your climbing roses. And boy, these are my neighbors and they're just so, so gorgeous. I absolutely love to see when they come out every year. Just look at them, guys. They're just laying down on there. Beautiful. Typically, you want to buy these also like your Clematis in the late winter to early spring when they're dormant. So that way, when you plant them out, you can have better control. Even more so for this, you can have more control about how your plant's going to go on the support. And again, we'll take a look at the supports, arches, and trellises towards the end of the video to give you more ideas as to some choices that are out there. But boy, they're so gorgeous. Moving on to number 3, it's Dipladenia. And these are trumpet-shaped flowers. And they grow in growing zones that have overnight temperatures. They'll come back 50 degrees or more. If it's colder than that for overnight temperatures in the cooler climates, then you'll have to treat them as annuals. But boy, we don't even mind because they bloom in the spring and they bloom all through the summer into early fall. They're just so gorgeous. These ones though, even though they are climbers, they don't climb as much as some other plants do, but they do climb. So you still have to keep an eye on them depending on how you're pairing them with other plants. And this is why I say that, because quite often in the garden center, you'll see them putting them with other plants. Because right here, they'll put them with that one to give it a more tropical feel. But what can happen is that they have little climbers that will come out and they can go around the plant. So you really will have to go in and try to control them. And you can see they have like different colors available for them and different sizes. Of course, the larger they are, the more you will have to pay. But boy, they're just such a beautiful plant. I really, really like them. And just to show you what I meant, see the runners coming out there, or the climbers, I should say. So you don't want that to be wrapping around. So you'll need to go in and prune those back just to, make it look nice and tidy. Those are some beautiful ones there as well too. So a cousin to this plant would be mandevilla. And the difference with the mandevilla is that the mandevilla tends to climb a lot more. So if you wanted to go up, more vertically for more vertical interest, then this would be a better choice for you. I must say I've never seen this color before. You can let me know in the comments if you've ever seen this color of mandevilla before. It's like a peachy color. And over here, there's another one here. Gorgeous. I just think it is so beautiful. You can see how they grew this year. And of course, you can always repot them in larger containers if you're buying one like this size. Let's say you have a balcony garden that you're able to get it in full sun. You can repot them, use an arc, use a trellis, whatever you like, and it'll be just as fine. Number 5 would be Carolina jessamine, and these actually bloom in the early spring, and they grow in growing zones 7 to 10. Like you say, they're hardy in those zones, meaning that they do come back. They're perennials. And this is how they're typically sold at your garden center, or a garden center, I should say. And what I've heard is that the people in Europe who grow these, that the honeybees over there, they don't, like them. It's toxic to them. But the ones over here, because they develop more over here, then it doesn't bother them. Moving on next to bougainvillea. And this is a beautiful tropical plant. It grows from growing zones 9 or higher. So in my growing zone 8, this would not grow here for me. It would not make it after the first hard freeze. Look at this beautiful one right here. This was a trip that we took to Jamaica, and we saw them there. But you can grow these in Southern California and other warmer places like that, maybe in Louisiana, those warmer places in the country of the US, or, other places all over the world. They're just so beautiful. And what I will say is that people typically think that the colored part they're seeing are the petals, but they're not. The true flowers are actually the little white ones that you're seeing right there. The pink part are modified leaves called bracts. And just look at this one. We visited a friend in Florida, South Florida, and they had this gorgeous variegated one, which I had never really seen before. I wish it was in bloom, but either way, I think it is beautiful and adds so much interest right next over their house. And I just wanted to take a moment to invite you to subscribe to our channel if you have never done so before. My husband and I, we do lots of gardening topics. We do garden DIYs. We go over what's in the garden center so you can make some great decisions or what's out there. We also go over common mistakes that we or others may have made that we have learned from, so that way you can have an easier garden experience. And if you haven't heard from us in a while, be sure to stop by and check, because we do videos weekly. Moving along to the next one, that would be star jasmine. So if you want to have a sweet treat, this would be a very good one for you. These are hardy in growing zone 7 or greater, meaning that they have to be growing zone 7 or warmer for them to come back for you. Otherwise, they will not make it. But you can always bring them indoors. The same is true for any of the other tropical ones. You can bring them indoors in a sheltered area and have them in a south-facing window or grow lights, and then, they will be able to survive. But boy, they really do smell so sweet. Just wonderful. Over here now we have silver lace, and this one blooms in the summertime, and it really can be very aggressive. The wood is very tough, and so you will need like a sturdy pergola or like a fence or something to hold them up. They bloom, they're available in the early spring usually. And Renee, she has a gorgeous one, so we can, you can tell us about it in the comments, Renee, if you're watching this, how you care for that plant. Another aggressive one would be wisteria. Is very, very pretty when it comes out in very, very early spring as far as the blooms go, but it also has a lot of woody vines, and so it tends to go pretty high and tall. So if you don't have like maybe a strong pergola to control it back by pruning, it will just, carry on and go anywhere. And since we're talking about, smaller spaces, if you're in that position where you don't have that option, then you may want to avoid this one, because it really can take over. You really have to keep an eye on it, or just avoid it altogether, depending on, how your garden is set up. I'm just giving you fair warning, the best information based on what I've learned about these plants. And this is typically what it looks like in the garden center. Quite harmless, but over time, it really will come in and take over. But I want you to be aware of the options when you're making your choices. Next, we look at the trumpet vine. Another one again too, woody tissue. Once you see them looking tough like that, they're going to be spreaders. And this one is growing zone 4 to 10. It's hardy in those areas. I'm in growing zone 8, so it does come back for me. We never planted this, it just grew as a volunteer, behind our yard. You can see how it is way up in the tree. It just grew and grew. The hummingbirds love it, by the way, but I'm just saying, it's a lot. So be careful when you're choosing your vines, guys. You're pretty, but you have to pick one that works best for you. Speaking about that, we move on to number 11, and that would be morning glory. And it really is a glory in the morning. They're absolutely gorgeous. And so the cousins to it, similar types, same thing again, but they're very aggressive in terms of how they grow. They spread a lot. The seeds, that when the plant reseeds, it does it a lot, and they will grow and take over everywhere. This one says party dress, and they really will have a party in your yard if you just let them flower and seed and just keep coming back. So I had this little one right here, and once I did my research, I said, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna keep it, so I got rid of it. Moving on to the next one, and that would be coral vine, or called chain of love. And yes, another one again, and this is for our tropical folks, people in the islands and so on, because I do have people watching this channel from all over the world. These ones, if you have like a homestead or like a farm or something, you want to really bring bees in, this is going to be the magnet for them. But it really does spread a lot. I mean, it can just cover over areas. So it's kind of treated like a weed almost. So bear that in mind, guys. Now let's take a look at arches and trellises, because they will need to get these for support. Since they are vines, even though they have woody tissue, quite a few of them, they do need to get that extra support. So we'll need to get some really good ones to give this plant the support that it needs. Typically, when you buy them, they'll give you a smaller one to start you off. And because of that, they typically cost a little bit more than they maybe normally would, but they do need that to start, and also for them to show you what the plant's going to look like. But once you get home and you repot them, you'll want to, get something for that. For things like roses, like this one here, I think arches would be best on the heavier type plants, or maybe pergolas. So I'll put a link in the description box. Maybe you can get one of these types if you like, and that way your plant is going to have the really nice support that it wants. And I think these also give them more like a or more cottage style look, or just really dainty and almost storybook like. The plants that are lighter weight, like your mandevillas and other ones like those, trellises might be an easier option, more inexpensive as well too. As you can see, they have different designs. You can also check to see the links below where you can get similar types of these. And I did take a look at our garden center to see how much the prices were going for. You can see these are pretty large, but I will not, hide it from you guys. Trellises can be pretty pricey depending on what you're getting and how many you need. You can see how much it was going for up there. This is a smaller one. And if you have smaller types, you can still see I tried to find the price for you. Going back there, you can see how much that one was going for, $14.97. And they also had this one here. It's kind of upside down right here, but just to show you, the shape of it and kind of like the size. You can see they have the plants climbing on there. And this one again, you can see how much that one was going for. So if you are able to do your own DIY trellises, and more power to you, you can always buy like mason mesh, different types of construction mesh, and you can make them and have your plants run on them, and they'll be pretty, or you can get smaller ones. So I hope you got some great information from this, guys, to help you in choosing your vines. You're beautiful, but you have to be sure that you're getting the one that's going to suit your needs best. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much to my channel members, and to all of you that come back time and time again to show your support on this channel by sharing it out with others that love gardening. If it's your first time, I certainly hope you'll consider subscribing. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy gardening, and I do hope to see you in the next one. Take care.